What's up, beautiful people, to another episode of Pursuit of Destiny podcast. It's me, Ricky Jones Jr., back again for yet another episode in which I am also excited, right? And I will say this for those that are just tapping in or just listening to this podcast for the first time. I will say this podcast is here to help you to get you from where you are to where you were destined and or born to be, okay? So we talk about different ways that you can change your mindset, your mentality, give you inspiration, affirmations, and just get you along the journey. So I will say this is for people that are just want to make changes within their personal lives, but also for those that are inspiring to be business owners and things like that. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. Now, I think and believe like this is the message in which I would teach, talk about, and speak on each and every day if I had the opportunity to do so. Well, I will say one of them, right? So there's the opportunity to talk about love. I feel like I can do that all day, every day. I just love the topic of love. But then this topic here, which happens to do with destiny, okay? So we're going to talk about it today. We're going to dive into it. And what I want for this one, and I'll probably do like a part 1, part 2 on Tuesday today, and then on part 2 for Thursday, just to keep like a time span kind of tight. However, with that being said, what I would love to do is to hear from you all. So with that being said, if you could comment, if you could email, if you could hit me up on the socials or whatnot, please do so. And even if you have some like voice memos, I would love to add them to the podcast and things like that. So with that being said, here we go. Let's go ahead and get into it. And again, this is talking about destiny. What I believe there are 3 things. There's 3 things that if we do these things, that we can live the life that we were born to live. Now, when I talk about destiny, let me go ahead and define it, because oftentimes we may have a thought about a word or a thought about something that may not be the actual case for those and the person that's speaking, right? And so here we go. Destiny. What does destiny mean? Destiny means to me is what you were put on this earth to do, and it has to do with your lifespan, right? So the destiny of something has to do with the lifespan of it. From the beginning to the end, there's a lifespan. However, destiny is what was supposed to happen, to which, we all don't know what's supposed to happen. Here we go. We have let me just give you a prime example. I have in my hand a chapstick container situation. And so the destiny, we're talking about destiny, the destiny of this chapstick was to go from production to packaging to shipping, right? It was shipped to Walmart. I purchased it from Walmart, and no advertisement for them, but whatever. I purchased it from there, brought it home. The destiny of this here chapstick was to go from production to Walmart, then to my house, and it will be used until I lose it. And then whenever I lose it, it'll go where it goes. And that was the destiny of this chapstick, right? And so somebody may be like, what's the difference between purpose and destiny? However, I will say the purpose of this here chapstick in my hand is that it was purposed to lather, lather the lips or dry areas of individuals, right? That's the purpose of this thing. And that's, purpose is another word for function. However, the destiny happens to do with the lifespan, the areas that it was in, the pockets that it will be in, as far as the various pants and things like that, the various places that it may go. I may take this bad boy if I travel to the Bahamas or somewhere, Atlanta. It may go with me there and be used there. It was destined to be there. The only difference between this chapstick and you as an individual, as a person, is that this chapstick does not have a choice to decide where it ends up. However, we as people, we as individuals have choices, right? And I like to say that there again are 3 things that will allow for us to walk in our destiny. I'm going to say almost immediately, however, allow for us to walk in our destiny. And those things are environment, information, and choices, right? So we already kind of talked about choices, but I'm gonna go ahead and start from the top, and I'm gonna say, and I don't want to say that they are in any particular order. However, they all speak to a specific thing. And so first, starting off with environment, and this one we'll probably do like environment and then information a little bit, and then on Thursday we'll do information and then choice. However, Here we go. So with information, right? What does environment? What does environment have to do with allowing you to pursue destiny? Well, environment. Here's the thing. Oftentimes we are where we are because of the environment that we are in. There's a popular TV show. I don't know if you've watched it. I've watched it several times. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, right? And so he was an individual that lived in Philly, but then had the opportunity to go live in Bel-Air with his aunt and uncle. And so he had a whole environment change, right? He was living in the projects of Philly and went to the very nice suburbs of Bel-Air. Like, I mean, it went from boom, 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 boom type deal, right? However, he as a person was changed as far as his environment, and he had to do different things differently. He went to school differently. He had to wear a uniform. He had to abide by different rules and customs. He ate differently with his family in Bel-Air and things like that. Like, that was an environment shift. And oftentimes our environment shift will help us because it will allow for us to get outside of our norm. And what is the norm? The norm is when you are around the same people doing the same things they're doing because you see what they do and you think that is the way to do it. However, I will say there are, which we all, I won't say all because I don't know you particularly, specifically. However, we come into contact with individuals in different mediums, be it social media or TV, and we see that life is lived differently for other people, right? In essence, they are living their life based off of the environment they're in. However, some people matriculated through life. They started in one area of life, and I'm not going to say, put rankings or anything like that. However, they started in one area and then they were able to matriculate or grow to another area in life based off of their environment and the choices that they made. However, environment is so key because I will even say it for me, and you may be able to put yourself in my shoes if this pertains to you. However, when I was growing up, I was raised in the suburbs. Shouts out to my family, and the suburbs that I was in, they were like, in the particular home I was living in, we were living in a cul-de-sac, and within this cul-de-sac I had people from all different nationalities living within this cul-de-sac. To my left there was like I'm gonna say they're Hawaiian, but it was like a Asian type descent, or I don't know, excuse me, I apologize, but their name was Yumi. She used to watch me when I was growing up and things like that. Shouts out to you, Yumi, if you ever come in contact with this video. And then it was my family, which we were African American, right? Family to my right, it was an Ethiopian family or Somalian, one of the two. Nonetheless, I used to play with their kid. His name was Hebron. That was my homie, man. Well, I wonder where you are now. But nonetheless, then to the right, it was a Russian family, and they were there, right? They didn't really talk to us so much, or anybody. But then outside of that, at the end, there was a Jamaican family at the end of the cul-de-sac, at the front, before you turn out or in, depending on which way you were coming in. And on the other end, it was another African-American family. But I say all that to say, like, there was so many nationalities around me that I got to and had the opportunity to just be around certain people and learn how other people do what they do. And I was able to be within their environment. They were able to come into my environment, which allowed for me to see people openly, right? Knowing and realizing that not everybody is like me. That is what that opportunity allowed for me. I realized that certain family do certain things in a certain way. I won't say which family in particular. However, there was one family that was like very meticulous about their grass. There was another family, not so much. Like, they didn't care. Like, grass was there. It did what it did. It'll do what it do, right? There was another family. They were very family oriented. You could tell everything or most things that they did together as a unit. And then there were some, hey, just do what you do and you figure it out as you go. However, what environment does is allow for you to see things from another perspective, see things in a new way. I like to say, and I strongly believe and go by it, that Vegas is one of those places that everybody should go. Now, I will say you should go for the reason of being able to see new things in a new way, right? Because the whole concept of Vegas, from my perspective, right? Everybody has their own perspective. However, mine is Vegas is a great area and a great place to see different things from different areas that you won't be able to see unless you go there. In other words, in Vegas, you can walk down the strip, and on the strip of Vegas, you can see a hotel that looks like Paris, hotel that looks like a circus, hotel that looks like Egypt, hotel that looks like New York, hotel that looks like, Caesar's Palace, hotel like Encore, and they have their own theme and things like that. Each hotel has its own theme. There's a castle theme, right? Each hotel has their own theme, and the theme is wrapped around a location, an area, or a place, right? And so each one, right, you get a new perspective. You go into the one that's like Paris, they have the different looks like Paris and things like that. They have different foods that have that whole vibe. You can go to, I think it's the Palazzo. I think that's one of our like go-to spots, but nonetheless they have the gondola rides, right, which is over there in Italy. So it's an Italian type vibe, and I say all that to say, like, you get to go one area. If you live in America, it's like uber convenient. Flights are not that expensive, honestly. Look into it. It'll cost you a pair of shoes, but nonetheless, you can go there and you can get different perspectives and different environments, and you can like have the lens of what it would be like if you were actually to go to that place. However, what it does do is open your mind up to possibilities. When I go to Vegas, I'm like, man, like, that's a possibility, that's an option. If they could do that, man, I wonder what I can think of, conjure up, or think of as far as like ideas and creativity is concerned. Like, every time I go to Vegas and come back, I'm always inspired to do more, inspired to do different things, inspired to do more creative type things, just because of all the creativity that happens there and that is there. Like, Vegas, shouts out to them. But anyway, environment is one of those key things. I largely believe that I am the person that I am today because of the various environments that I was in. I wasn't in environments of places and areas where everyone looked like me. Most often, I was in environments where most people did not look like me. However, it gave me the opportunity of diversity and what life is like, right? And so I'm able to relate to different people in certain ways, able to be open to different people's ideas and perspectives, which I love and personally value and even want for my kids. However, it allowed for me to know that there are different options, different ways of life, different ways of doing life, different ways of experiencing and seeing lives, different just ways, right? Environment does that. But then too, it said that you are a sum total. Well, I won't say it said. Some people say that you are a sum total of the 5 people that you hang around the most. What are your 5 people? What do those 5 people do? What do those 5 people look like? How do those 5 people dress? What do those 5 people drive? And I'm not saying that those are your limits or, things like that. I'm just saying that to say what people say, just to give you an idea. And, even as I said that, I'm sure you start to reflect like, man, what do the 5 closest people in my life look like, dress like? What are their family dynamics like and things like that? Well, usually, and even when I thought about it myself, I'm like, man, I was literally trying to think of 5 because I don't know, I'm social, but I'm not like uberly like connected social. I have friends, however, shouts out to my friends, man. I appreciate and love you all because I'm not really one that like talks to people all the time. But either way, this is not about me. I'm saying that to say 5 people. Think of those 5 people. What do they do? What do they talk about doing? What do they think about doing? How do you all vacation together? What places do you all eat and things like that? And if you think about your 5 and you're like, oh man, like I want to make a shift in my 5, go for it. Do it. There's many ways that you can go about changing your 5, looking at other 5s. I mean, even if you can't go and speak to a particular person that you would like to associate yourself with, start looking at different things that they put out, read books that they have, look at videos that they do, listen to podcasts of individuals. Like and I say that to say there's no real reason to reinvent the wheel. If there is something that you're inspiring to do, something that you want to do, something that you know that you are purposed to do, and therefore your destiny would have for you to do it, there's somebody, I'm sure, that has done something either like it or just like it or are doing it currently. And start taking notes. See what they do. See how they start their day. See how they orient their day. See how they learn more and do more, are able to do all that they do. And just, I won't say duplicate it, but find how you can do and incorporate the things that they do in your life, because everybody lives life differently. I know, and I'll even say it, right? One of the people that I'm now starting to pay attention to, I won't say like model my life after, but pay attention to just to watch what he does, is Tony Robbins, and I'll even say Steve Harvey. Largely because like I love Steve Harvey's vibe. vibe. I love his look and things like that. But outside of that, I love like the different TV shows that he's on, because I could see myself being on the various TV shows and doing different things and having fun and entertaining people as he does. But even I love Tony Robbins because of his ability to speak to people, his seminars, the different things that he does on Destiny, right? He actually does something on Destiny, so it'd be cool to be able to pick it up. I don't know. We'll talk. I don't even say that right now, even before I get an opportunity to speak to him. However, I love the different things that he puts out, encouraging people to do more, to strive for more, and to see the greatness on the inside of them, and just different books that he's put out and things like that. However, who is an individual that you could think of that you see what they do, or you know what you want to do? Let's start there. Know yourself first, right? So if environment is the lens in which you would like to start to pursue your destiny through, start with self. Who am I? What am I here to do? What am I purpose to do? What is my function here in life? What was I born to do? What is something that I can wake up knowing that I can do, either with my eyes closed or my hands tied behind my back, or without anybody's help or assistance, right? Now, when you start progressing doing those things, you will need people's help and assistance. So don't think you can live life by yourself. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I am saying there's something inside of you that you can do, that you were born to do, and that this world needs for you to do. What is that thing, right? Once you find that thing, now let's start to pursue that as your destiny, right? As your lifespan of opportunity of life to carry out that specific thing, right? But then let's try to find somebody that is currently doing that, or that you say, oh, okay, they kind of walking in what I want to do, and start to see how they do what they do, how they start their day, what time do they start their day, what do they do within the time span of their day, because everybody has the same 24 hours. Y'all heard it being said, no man is different, right? We all have the same 24 hours. I actually want to get like an hourglass. This is a side note, but it was a thought that I had today. I want to get like an hourglass that's in the 24-hour like time glass, because usually like there's the hour situation and you turn it every hour, but I want one that's like every 24 hours, because I want to like start my day, flip it, and then knowing that at the end, like I was able to do the different things that I wanted to do within that 24. But anyway, it's neither here nor there. Let's change your environment, right? Take a trip. Go outside of your neighborhood. You could even do that. I currently live in Tampa, Florida. And so within Tampa, there are so many different like nooks and crannies of neighborhoods and things like that. Something that my wife and I do, and even with our kids, we go to different environments around Tampa. Either one that we want to move to, or two that we just find that it's just like a nice vibe. And we go there. We go there to eat. We go there to take walks. We go there to take our kids to the parks. We go there just to meditate and talk things out, knowing that, environment shapes the way we think, shapes the way we operate. Wherever you are, if you were to move to New York City, right, you would have a totally different environment. If you don't already live in New York, obviously, but you would have a totally different environment, and that environment would then put onto you what is necessary to live within that environment. So you may move faster, you may talk faster, you may lose your car, as far as like you don't need one. You can have taxis and subways and things like that. However, that environment shapes the outcome of your life. So I'm saying all to say, right, at the end of the day, I hope I've convinced you enough to realize that environment plays a huge part in how you live your life, what you do in life, and how you can then pursue your destiny. So if you don't like where you are right now, change your environment, right? We all have access to the internet in some way, shape, form, and fashion. Put on your desktop, put on your phone as a screensaver somewhere that you want to go. That's something that I've done before. I put on like it's a blue lagoon in Iceland that I do want to be a part of. I don't want it to be too deep because I ain't trying to swim in it, but if it's like a jacuzzi type vibe, that is something that I want to do. So I've had like that as a screensaver, just even to put myself there. A little nippy, but it was cool, right? You can do something like that. Or if you live somewhere where you can travel to another like county or a city or area within where you live that is a totally different environment, go there, go and do that, because I'm telling you, it will give you a new perspective, a fresh perspective, and give you ideas and thoughts in which you did not have prior to even doing that, right? Because I even say, right, I think the greatest lesson you can learn sometimes is by people's personal stories. However, here's one of mine. We live in an area where, it's a moving area. However, it's not the area that we want to live in forever. However, like I said, my wife and I, one of the places we go, which I guess I could share. It's not like a private spot, but anyway, one of the places we go is like the Riverwalk in Tampa, which is a beautiful area downtown. There's parks, there's a walking area, walking trail along the river, and so we go there, right? And we go there and talk, we go there and think, and all those good things like that. However, within that environment itself, there are people that are walking their dogs, riding bikes, being active, rollerblading, and things like that. There's dogs out there. It's just so much energy and so many different vibrant things happening, and it allows us to be in that environment. Like, you can't be in an environment where things are happening and not be in motion, right? It just doesn't happen. It doesn't work. You're in the way, and you're in the way enough that you will find somewhere else to go. You'll find somewhere that you'll go that you'll be like who you are, right? And you know, so if you want to change your environment. I say it all to say, if you want to change your environment. And just to even talk about a little bit on information today, and we'll even continue, man. I might have to do each one a specific day, but nonetheless, we're here. Let's talk about information for a little bit. Information plays a key role, and we all have the ability to get new information. We all have little cellular devices we call phones, but I honestly believe they are mini computers, because you have access to everything in the world through this here mobile device. You can do everything now. Like, you can make payments, you can call people, you can video call people, you can text people, email people, you can do everything. However, with this device, you can find out anything you want to know. And if you can't find it specifically, you can contact somebody that can find it all for you. So I say that to say, this phone gives you access to information that people 20 years ago did not have. However, we are here. And I say that to say, there's no reason why you're not able to be informed about something that you need information on. The only reason why you don't have the information on something that you wanted to know or you want to know is because you're too lazy to figure it out, find it out, or search for it. It's there. Right? And once you take the step to do it or to find it, now the information is yours. Why would you delay what you can know today because of laziness and allow for ignorance to be what propels you going forward? Nobody should live a life of ignorance anymore. It's so many opportunities. The www, the internet, right? Social media, there's podcasts that you're listening to or watching. There's YouTube that can show you a little bit of everything, right? YouTube makes, non-building people into builders. Me. YouTube makes people that are not gardeners into gardeners. Me. Like 3 years ago, I had the idea that I wanted to garden. However, I really didn't do it. So I started doing research. I started getting information. And then I started actually doing it. And I started YouTubing myself doing it. And now I'm helping other people, inspiring other people to garden on our gardening YouTube channel. And I'm saying all that to say, like, there is so many opportunities for you to grow as it involves information, right? The difference between you doing what you're doing now and you doing what you want to do, sometimes it's environment and other times it's information. But you can't say, no longer can you say that you don't know and you can't figure it out, right? And I'm just talking about the internet. There's even books, right? We're going to start even talking about books. And I even want to start sharing, I thought about it before, but I even want to start sharing like the different books that I'm currently reading or different books that I've read pertaining to a topic that we may be talking about, just to show you all how there are different avenues and different ways in which you can go about receiving the different information that is being talked about. However, information is at your fingertips. The question is, what are you reaching for? I'm going to say that again because that sounded so good coming out. Information is at all of our fingertips. My question is, what are you reaching for? And with that being said, great people, I'm going to go ahead and end this one because this is going a little longer than the norm. However, I think that's where we are now. I think we might have started to push past the 10 to 13 minute podcast, and now we can start to tap into a little bit longer ones. However, what I will pick up on is the conversation of how we could change the change in the conversation on how we can start pursuing destiny as it pertains to environment, information, and choices. So with that being said, great people, I love y'all. I appreciate you all. I'll see you on the other ones. And like I said, please tap in, please comment, please let me know different thoughts, questions, or ideas that you have, and you can share them in any form. And I do definitely look to get in contact with you pertaining to it. Until then, don't just live life, ladies and gentlemen. It's too valuable just to do so. But I want you all to pursue destiny. Love you all. Till next time.